And we're live.
Boo!
Live from the Tsunderedome. No holds barred, and everyone's an idiot.
Yeah, I'll take that.
So you want to sell me on Cyberpunk 2077?
I don't. This is the thing. Anybody who's like, "I need you to sell me on this," what else do I have to tell you? What do you need to be told?
I don't know much about the franchise myself, so
It's not even really a franchise. It's like a brand new game.
well,
It's just being made by the
Sargon,
guys who make The Witcher.
yeah, but Sargon was saying there's like a tabletop game of it.
Well, if there is, I don't. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It's not important.
I know. I'm not really on board Razor Fist and his. Oh, it's just a rip off of Deus Ex.
Yeah, I
Deus
gotta say,
Deus
like,
Ex isn't even that original. It's not even the only thing original about it is it's Shadowrun without all the fantasy races.
look. I'll just say this here. I love Razor Fist. I love Razor Fist. Fuck, he needs to shut his fucking mouth sometimes. Or at least let the filter kind of go through a little bit before he says something stupid, because he likes to point out like Movie Bob and all these other guys for saying stupid shit, and then he comes out and calls things a ripoff. Like nothing is really original anymore.
I know. Well, I got a little bit annoyed with him after E3 when he's complaining about the new samurai game that's supposed to be coming out that's set during the Mongolian invasion.
What not Sekiro, not the Souls one, but oh my god, what's the name of it?
Shadow something.
I don't know. If it's the one that had the guy with the fucking flute at E3, is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of that one is now because I haven't really noted. Because honestly, the gameplay they showed, I didn't care for.
Well, he was bitching about how it's got like the Arkham mechanics and all that. Like, I don't mind the Arkham mechanics.
I was gonna say the Arkham mechanics are pretty good. It's not the worst thing to rip off.
No. Like, the thing that draws me to that is that it's set in a period that people don't really go to for Japan, because it's usually for Japan they go for the Sengoku era.
I think in most people's cases they're just like, dude, just give me swords, I'm good.
Yeah, but when the Mongolian invasion is like one of those things that doesn't most people don't talk about. They always forget it happened.
Well, I mean, how many people are really paying attention to Japanese history? We barely, keep up with their own.
I do.
We're busy trying to erase our own history, let alone learning somebody else's.
I know. That reminds me when the stupid debate over the Robert E. Lee statue was going on. Basically said the Japanese still have monuments to like Nobunaga Oda up, and so it's not the same thing. Like, you do realize that he massacred a village, burned down temples, and did all sorts of heinous acts in the names of reforming Japan.
Yeah, but he's awesome in Drifter, so who cares? I think it's still split now.
I know, but that's just like fucking bullshit when they go like, but slavery's bad. Like and killing people who are like monks isn't just as bad.
Well, no, it's just not bad when it's not in your own country. It doesn't matter. No one cares at that point.
I know. My stance on that kind of stuff is basically you can't get rid of bad things in history because you gotta keep them around so people know how bad things could get.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the idea of either taking down statues or rewriting history or whatever the fuck these idiots want to do, it's like, I get it. I really do understand that this is some really huge black marks on our human history. But you can't erase that because we need to remind ourselves that we are capable of being absolutely terrible human beings.
Yeah, and here's the thing about the Civil War in America. The North weren't exactly choir boys themselves. Like General Sherman, he burned down everything that got in his way.
It's almost like we have to evolve as a species to become better. If you try to erase the past, we no longer have lessons to be learned from.
Mm-hmm.
But what do we know? We're just, people that actually take an extra 5 seconds to think about shit.
I know. I got a stupid argument last night on a different Discord server because, well, as you know, John McCain died over the weekend, and everyone's virtue signaling that, oh no, the last Republican that would stand the Trump is gone. Like, John McCain was a fucking warmonger. Don't mourn his death.
Well, it's just in general, I don't even have a point of contention. It's just like, whatever, a guy died. Mind you, I'm Canadian, so I don't really have a horse in the race regardless, but
yeah, that
it's
just
like if any politician here in Canada passes away, it's like unless you're literally like the scum of the earth, I don't have a care in the race. Like there's no reason for me to be that bothered. If you are an actual pundit or someone who actually has a horse in the race when it comes to politics, you might care. But as some simpleton like me, I don't have a shit to give.
yeah, I don't like to draw on politics all the time, but when someone keeps hitting my side because I'm kind of a right leaning person to begin with, uh, I get to the tolerate for a while, but after a while, I'm like, would you shut the fuck up?
That's the easiest thing to do, but nobody is apparently capable of doing that. Like all the idiots yesterday with the Jacksonville stuff. My God.
I know it's one person I know on the other Discord mentioned. I'm not going to say the name of it. Well, they were on Twitter because every time a shooting happens, he gets on gets on his soapbox and starts whining about stupid shit. And like he was saying that things won't change until a person of color goes on a mass shooting. I kind of want to say, oh, you mean like Chicago?
Well, and the thing that strikes me the most is that the bodies aren't even cold yet, and we're trying to spin shit.
I know.
It's like there are at the time that people were doing their political shitstorms, there were families and friends that didn't even know that the two people that were killed, along with the shooter himself that took his own life, no one knew what the names of these people were yet.
I know.
And we're too busy enveloping in our own self-entitled bullshit because we have to push our message and not just fucking mourn the deaths of random people that had no business dying that day.
Exactly.
But no.
And that's the thing that pisses me off as an American. People want to just push these things so they can get their gun control. Yet at the same time, they're going to say Donald Trump's a fascist. Which is it? Do you want everyone to be armed in case he's a fascist, or is he a fascist? We should let him have control.
Well, remember again, this requires some extra forethought, and that's not something, or not forethought, foresight.
I know.
It's not a capability of half the audience that likes to spew their shit. The other half has it; they just don't use it.
I know. And just like earlier, I was on my way home from town. I saw this thing about Zoe. That Zoe Quinn was running her mouth again. Surprise, surprise. And she's saying, "I don't care what kind of nerdy, quote unquote, gay it is. They're on the losing side of history. Games, comics, anime. Our nerd shit is for everyone. Boys and bigots, fuck off." And I'm like, "Wow, shit." What you include anime is like, "Wow, you really don't know much about Japan."
Yeah, well, these are the same people that decided to be like, oh, we need to really create a diverse thing here for our new anime that doesn't actually look like anime, and we're going to call it that we're diverse, even though it's just a bunch of white women.
And then they have Kate Leth, who's one of those. I'm trying not to judge the feminists are working on this, but that's like a catalog of Tumblr. Did you see what they look like? It's like the very definition of Tumblr manifested in reality.
I mean, personally, that part doesn't care because let's be honest, most of the people that work behind the scenes are not exactly the best looking people. Otherwise, they would be in a different industry. But it was very funny that you have an old, like basically the only differences between these women were age, weight, and hair color. That was it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all it was. It had nothing to do with skin color. It had nothing to do with gender. It was literally just, we're a bunch of white women that want to be able to push the diversity thing without understanding what the concept of diversity actually is. By the way, also in an industry that is not even a white male run industry, it is a constant diversity of Japanese, both men and women, because some of the most popular anime out there were created by women. Take Inuyasha, for example. What was the other one that I had it off the top of my head and I just forgot what it was?
Don't forget about Clamp, because it's like an all-women team that create all stuff like X Japan, Card Captor Sakura, Subatsu Reservoir Chronicle, and other shit like that. Like, did you bitches even forget or look into the fact that Clamp exists? They're an all-women team that make some of the best manga out there. I used to try and emulate the style that Clamp did with the pointed chin and all that.
Well, here we go. Right off the bat, 8 non-romance manga created by women. So right off the top, Ranma and a half, Triple X Holic, Magi the Labyrinth of Magic, Blue Exorcist, Black Butler, Noragami, Gangsta, Full Metal Alchemist. That was the one. Full Metal fucking Alchemist, one of the most well-known and well-praised anime, was written by a fucking woman.
What?
And these idiots want to tell us that there's not diversity.
And let's go into the realm of hentai. Yuzuki and Dash. She's probably one of the most talented artists in the industry. And that woman is more degenerate than some of us are. Because her genre of hentai is basically the incest.
Oh, well, that's like 90% of anime anyway. So
I know. At this point, you're like, oh, oh yeah. By the way, I found a new normal manga yesterday.
uh-oh.
It's like a isekai harem, and guess what? His harem is. It's
Go
his two
on.
stepsisters and his stepmother.
Okay, there's something missing.
Well, his father died like 3 months after he married this woman, and then they get thrown into this other world.
I'm just trying to think what's missing from this equation.
Well, he's not a cuck. He cucked the king.
No, I'm talking adding to the harem. Like, what could be missing from this? There's two sisters and a stepmother.
Yep. I don't know.
I don't know. Can the cat transform into a human? Does that count?
No, but there's like demi-humans that they meet off the bat.
Close enough.
But it's just like, and it's like 4 chapters in, and he basically just cucked the king. He ran off with the king's wife and gave her the real fuck she deserves.
There's no beating around the bush there.
I know, because in the same chapter, he basically makes it clear that he's wanting to be the villain. Because his stepmother and stepsisters are way too nice and they don't know when to not go along with where our demands are made of them.
So what is he just bored?
Well, his father kind of raised him to be manipulative. Makes you wonder what his father was like.
Oh, so he's a typical white male. Okay, I see.
According to the feminists, that is.
There you go. But anyways, we got off a hell of a tangent there. as we normally do.
The Tsunderedome.
Yeah, that is true. The Tsunderedome, also known as the Tangent Dome.
Where we're the evening time version of the Kumite. Only we don't have set times when we should be doing this because usually you're unavailable later in the week.
Well, that also depends.
Yeah,
it's getting a little better for me now. Now my soccer season's ended, my softball season on the weekends ended, so it's like just the 1 day a week now that it's going to be sportsy. I can finally go back to doing what I normally do, which is doing fuck all.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And we lost Jim today to Twitter and their banning.
Jim is who? Because that can mean a lot of things. Sorry, who?
Medicare.
Oh, okay. I don't really follow. Well, to be fair, I don't follow a lot of these guys anymore. I can't be bothered. There's too much influx.
I still like Mr. Medicare's content because he doesn't really pick sides. He finds stupid people to laugh at. Then he moves on to the next stupid person. And apparently, Kraut had to release a video because he thinks he won. Like, who gives a shit about you?
Oh, clearly somebody, because we still talk about him. Apparently.
Yeah, I really don't care to dwell on what Kraut does. And like, I still remember months back when Kraut's going on about how someone blocked him, and Tug is just like, not everyone wants to talk to you, Splinter Dick. Because that's kind of the thing about Kraut is sometime in his life he split his dick in half.
See, this is why I'm glad I kind of stay out of the drama shit. Because I just hear this stuff and I just roll my eyes and I'm like, good, this is going in one ear and out the other, and I'm not going to remember a lick of this.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
It must be nice being me now that I think about it.
I know, because I start thinking, I was a lot happier before I knew about all this social justice bullshit. Because all they do anymore is just make me angry. Because it's just like, these motherfuckers can't really believe what they just said. And,
Yeah.
and the sad thing is, they actually believe it.
Well, you say it enough times, you'll believe whatever the hell comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I actually ended up finishing Mafia last night.
Cool.
Really enjoyed it. I've read a lot of reviews since then, now that I finally finished everything and I looked at it. I don't know what people were bitching about, like, oh, the gameplay is not that great, or it gets a little repetitive. I'm like, yeah, that's an open world game. Have you ever played one before?
Yeah. I'm at the point. I just finished like the downtown section last night, and I don't know which one to do next, but I'm probably going to work on Barclay, wherever, to get
Yeah,
the,
Barclay Mills, yeah.
because I'm looking at guides to see how I should distribute the districts to make sure I don't can get the good ending, because I don't want to play it again, because it's like been giving me headaches, because it's frustrating. You go in, you somehow get gunned down because someone showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah, that can happen. I don't know. For the most part, I didn't have too many problems by the end of it. I mean, some of the later stages were a little underwhelming. Like, um, there's a few of the final bosses before you get to the end of the game that are a little underwhelming. Like, there's just a random guy they insert in there as like a guy who's going to assassinate you at one point, and he literally means jack shit. Like, there's nothing to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just shows up and you kill him. Like, there's nothing to it. It's kind of disappointing that way. Like, you figure, okay, this guy is known for really loving to kill black people, and he doesn't even kill anybody before he gets to you. Like, it's not like he does anything to get your attention. He just shows up and you kill him.
Pretty much.
It's kind of boring in that sense. Like, the way that I explained to most of my friends who hadn't played it yet, I'm like, if you liked Mafia 2, this is Mafia 2 at 75%. Like, it's still pretty good, but it's missing a few things.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, I can't complain either way because I did get it for free. Obviously,
Yeah.
if I paid $60, I might have been a little bit different about it. But
Indeed. It's. I do wish you could just, once you get all the good guns, just go back and play it again, play some of the early stages again, just like do it the way you wanted to.
oh yeah, if I had a
Machine
silenced
gun
pistol right at the start, my god.
Get the machine gun, just march in to that Haitian gang camp and just gun everyone down. Boom, 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 boom.
All right, so I guess I have to sell you Cyberpunk. Yeah, that was the title.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I guess the whole Deus Ex ripoff thing. I mean, for starters, that's not a bad thing. From a guy who I never actually played the original Deus Ex games. I didn't have a PC back then, so I never really got around to it. But I did play not Human Divided. What was the one before it? Oh my god. Whatever the first comeback one was. I can't even think of what the name of shit. Well, good. I think it's Human Revolution. Yeah, Human Revolution. There we go. Took me a second.
Yeah.
That game was pretty good. Replaying it now and then playing Mankind Divided, it's a little stiff.
Yeah.
And from what I'm noticing with the Cyberpunk demo, because they put a 48-minute demo out, it's a lot more fluent. And if you have the right power-ups, you can just be a fucking wrecking machine just going at blinding speeds. Like, some of the shit, it's like they meshed a lot of the weaponry you would see in a game like, say, Titanfall, and kind of adapted it into a more humane experience. Obviously, the Mantis blades that we saw in the initial trailer for it, where it's like the fucking crazy, like, General Grievous looking fucking arms and shit. That's something you can do. There's so much customization to it that I've noticed, like all the abilities that they showed off, because they showed what like a max level character would look like with all the crazy abilities, and it's just like, holy fuck.
Okay, I know.
You're sprinting all around the place. There's obviously a lot of slowdown mechanics where you can go super fast while everybody else is moving really slow. There are guns that can ricochet off surfaces like what Hardlight does in Destiny, except you control the direction.
I'm looking at the trailer right now because I didn't see it.
But yeah, man, like, honestly, the biggest thing that's selling me is the world itself. Like, I mean, the gameplay can be as generic as anything else. Like it's an open world game. I'm not expecting it to be amazing. By what I saw, it looks like it potentially could be once you really get a few abilities in there. But the world itself, like the first time the trailer, because it starts you off in a small building and you're just taking out a few people. It did like a cool thing where you knock a guy's head into the water and you throw the gun into the water to make it silenced when you kill him. I thought that was a clever touch.
Nice. That sounds kind of cool.
But the second that it puts you into the main city, I have never seen a game with a city that looks that lively. It legit looks like a dystopian metropolis where there's just hundreds and hundreds of people just walking around doing whatever the fuck they want. It's not like, when you play like a Mass Effect game and there's just two guys walking and 30 people just standing in the corner and not moving ever.
Yeah.
No, there's literally like 50 to 100 people walking in different directions. There's cars all over the place. There's guys talking to each other, people selling shit on the streets. There's advertisements running. Like the city looks alive, which few games have ever captured that. And this one, considering its graphic fidelity, now I don't know what build this is, if this is like a max PC build, if this is like a default console build, we don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to assume that it's probably just like a high-end PC, which sucks, because if it doesn't look that good on PlayStation, I'm assuming PlayStation 5 at this point, because I don't think it's going to be a current gen game. I think this probably will wait for the next generation, considering they're like 2-3 years out.
Yeah, it's probably. At which point, I might as well just ship to the PC because I can't keep getting new consoles. It costs too much.
The thing with me is like the initial investment of a PC, I think isn't going to cut it for me right now.
Yeah.
I also don't really want to take a really nice high-end PC and have it in an apartment that can potentially, not necessarily be stolen, but like, I don't know, it just doesn't fit. I feel like I need a house for that.
Yeah. Here's the thing about, I don't really take Razorfist's views too seriously about some stuff because, like, he plays as a Toreador in Vampire the Masquerade. Toreadors are like the weakest of the clans. They have no really distinct abilities, and it's like they're like those vampires that love humans all the time and don't want to be vampires. They're basically like the hipster artists.
I don't know, just personally, I never like rip-off comments. It's like,
yeah,
it's you like for example, for music, like, is there anything new anymore, or is something a rip-off of something? Like, there's always, well, I think it was Alice Cooper that said at one point where he's like, the Beatles have done everything. So no matter what you do, no matter what chord progression you make, no matter what notes you use, you're probably ripping off a Beatles song somehow.
Yeah.
So it's like, in this age of gaming, like there's so few new genres that are left. Like anything you make is going to essentially be a ripoff of something if you want to look at it that way.
I know. Years back, I used to talk to this person. I knew it from Guy Online, and he kept one because we used to do like message board RPs and stuff like that, and he wanted me to be original with my weapons. Like in the year we're in, you can't be wholly original. You're going to be ripping off something.
It's like, well, what idea you got? I mean, I got a shotgun that has 5 barrels.
Well,
like, what else?
The idea was like a sword made for me like a unicorn horn, and what it does is it drains the life of whatever it cuts. Apparently, that wasn't original enough for this loser.
And he also, the game is taking place in 2077. Like, there's not a whole lot you can do. In fact, I'm sure the problem that I have with a lot of futuristic games is I look at them and I think, I don't even think we're even that close to where they think they're at. It's like how Back to the Future thought what we were going to be in 2015, and I laugh at that now, being like, you really thought we were going to have flying cars? Like, bitch, we can barely get guys to be comfortable on fucking bicycles.
I know. I remember back in E3 when the trailer was shown, and our favorite person, Jonathan McIntosh, had to whine about how it shows the future as being violent, not so great. Like, it's a cyberpunk dystopia. You don't have cyberpunk utopias.
Not to mention that, let's be honest, by the way that we are going, they're probably not wrong.
Yeah, because most cyberpunk games, you play as some kind of criminal. You're going to be breaking into buildings. probably killing a lot of people, stealing stuff. It's just a matter of how you're going to do it. If you're going to go stealthily or you're going to go in body bag style.
By the way, I think your camera's flipped on or something's on. Yeah, there it is.
There we go. It did that to me last time. I made that stream prior because it was just me ranting about the stupid Crunchyroll thing.
Yeah, but I mean, like, from
Anyway,
what I got from the game, like, it's the fact that it's very much like a mixture of all the games that we really do enjoy. Like, it's got the combat fluidity of something like a Titanfall. It's got the excess story that a game like the Witcher series, obviously because CD Projekt Red makes it.
yeah.
You got that thematic theme of, you know, all the different options of ways you can get around stuff like a Deus Ex or a Mass Effect, or it's the idea that I think it's trying to take everything that we really like and putting it all together in one single stream, which is perfect. And if that game can be what the world is, and without loading times and without any of the bullshit, it's a game that my radar is not only on, but it's probably like it's lighting up like a Christmas tree, which I have not done for a game in a long time. I have never been so hyped up for a game since, oh my god, it must have been.
As long as the game doesn't.
I think it might have been Mass Effect 2. I think it's the last time I was really this excited to play a new game.
As long as the game doesn't punish me for killing people, I'll be all for it because that's the thing I hate.
It depends on what you mean by a punishment.
Well, like Dishonored, they make a game where you're an all-powerful assassin, but you're not allowed to be an all-powerful assassin. They make you just go through the game, not killing people if you want to get the good ending.
Well, if you mean, well, in all honesty, you are a mercenary, so they're not beating around the bush that you are going to have to kill people. The difference is if you kill the wrong people, that's going to affect you. Like, for example, they show in the demo that you raid a scavenger's lair, and after you get all your shit together, you get into the car for the first time, and this is after you've long passed this mission. And a bunch of scavengers from the same gang will attack you all of a sudden, just in the middle of the street. That's the repercussion. Now if that means like you get a certain ending because of who you kill, who knows? But I mean, it's not going to be because you killed random people. It'll be because of who you kill over the course of the storyline. I think
that's kind of why, because in Dishonored, all these people you're going after, they deserve to be killed, and they don't want you to kill them. They're like, why? Give us all these powers and all these cool weapons, and we're not supposed to be using them. Why do you do this?
Now, they didn't really show how far this goes. Like, they didn't show it if you can, like, Skyrim style, just kill, like, quest givers and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I mean, I imagine that you if you really want to, you can just pull out a gun and just start shooting random people in the street. But that's the classic case of save state, go for it, and then reload the state after.
Save scumming is our Lord and Savior. Because that's what I did with, like, Skyrim. I'd save my when I had to play my 360 because it came with it. I was like going because I like to sneak into like bandit hideouts and shit like that, and I like to sneak through and just assassinate everyone because that's when I got like the Dark Brotherhood armor.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, I'm gonna sneak in, kill, and pretty soon they're finding like the bodies. They realize that someone's in their hideout killing them. It's like, yes, but you can't do anything about it.
yeah. No. The only thing from the trailer that I think I'm a little worried about is that the guy. I don't know if the character depends on what gender you pick. Because like they showed the main character being female in this demo, so I don't know if the character that you're playing alongside is always male. But if it is, the guy can be a little irritating because he's that character archetype where he's not English, so he has that tendency of always like just at some point speaking English, but always throwing a random word of Spanish in there just to be like, guess what? He's Spanish. So that was bugging me a little bit, but I mean, it's witty banter, and honestly, like the amount of smack talking that they do to each other, I'm like, okay, it kind of saves it.
Yeah.
You can be a sarcastic piece of shit in that game, which I'm always a fan of.
I know the thing right now is that kerfuffle because they said, "Did you assume my gender on Twitter?" And all the people got up in arms because they made an attack helicopter joke.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I've seen people like Louis Laveau get really upset with CD Projekt Red over it,
Yeah,
and I'm
because
like,
they apologize is what the problem is. Because
yeah,
you
but
should
I
never
mean,
apologize to these people because it's never going to be enough.
sure. But at the same time, like, is it really harming us? Like, that's the part that bothers me. Like, sure, these guys might bug us again, but I mean, CD Projekt Red is not changing what their game is.
Well, here's one thing I get a little bit annoyed with. These people are whining because they want to like the developers about inclusion for gender fluid people, like, and these people are like, "Why are you doing this to us? We just want to tell you about the gameplay."
Yeah, I was seeing, what was the interview? Was it The Verge or was it?
Is Diverge or
I think it was The Verge.
Eurogamer one of those places that?
Actually, yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Eurogamer.
And I bet that developers like, why? Why are you doing this to us? We just want to tell you about the game. It's like that's one of those things that really gets old after a while. Like that's
Well,
not going to
because
factor into the story if the person's transgender.
that's the thing that was bugging me. Like, you read the article, and almost all the questions are about if the character's transgender, what the options are. In all honesty, look, I get it. If you are a trans person, I think you do want to play something that has something of you in there, but that is not like you. If you are an actual gamer, like, let's preface this: you are transgender and you are a fucking gamer. And I'm not talking somebody who plays fucking Candy Crush. I'm talking someone who plays console games on a consistent basis. You know, as better as anybody else, that the sexual preference of a character does not mean shit. Do we know Shepard from Mass Effect because of who he or she bones? No. No. That is the last thing on our list when it comes to what we know Shepard for.
I do. I wonder how far the customization system goes with the way you can design your characters. Because my one problem with like Monster Hunter is like you can't really adjust um best of your female hunter.
As far as I know, that is a factor in the customization. If I remember correctly, there is an actual like set for that.
Because I don't want to be gigantic, but if I make a female character, I want there to be a little bit more there than like what Monster Hunter lets have. Like I
I
just
don't
want
know. I don't know if it's going to be the Saints Row level, but
no. When I played Saints Row, I never went down extreme like because like being exposed to so many like like those old anime where they got like the can't remember what anime it was where the women had like those humongous WMD sized breasts. Like
yeah, they were bigger than half their body.
yeah, you got like the really short girl. And she's got these watermelon sized tits. Like
At least shows like High School of the Dead make fun of that.
yeah, I couldn't get into High School of the Dead. Just like ugh.
For shame, sir. For shame.
Well, I didn't mind the fan service. Was just like what's her name? The dumb thought that at, all of a sudden she's clinging to the guy after she's upset with him for killing her
Well, if
boyfriend.
you're talking about Ray, well, Ray's just a bitch. Like, just ignore her. There's three other much better girls.
Saya and Saya and Saya.
No, it's Saya, Katana girl that her name escapes me, and no, not the blonde girl, but the blonde girl's friend that's an agent. She was fucking awesome for the 5 seconds she's in there.
Oh, the one that had the apartment that they
Yeah,
got
yeah,
the
yeah,
weapons from.
yeah.
Which is it's kind of bad because in Japan they're not. Well, I guess she's like a government official, so she has weapons.
Well, she has weapons, but they don't know.
The one
No one
thing,
knows.
the one thing that really got under my skin with that series was that teacher that becomes a cult leader. Was that
Uh,
really necessary so early on?
yes. Because let's be honest, were you really going to pay attention to that afterwards? The anime was never going to be about that kind of shit. It was going to be about zombies and titties. That was the show. They really should have just called it Zombies and Titties. That would have been a better title for the show.
Yeah, like I said, my one complaint about that series was basically people calling it a harem.
It's like a harem actually, needs to have like a possibility of another relationship. And to be completely honest, I don't think anybody ever saw a possibility beyond Ray and the main character because
Well,
it was kind
I
of
think I
like
think
blatantly played out.
I think Takashi was really over Ray because he's looking at Katana Girl in a certain way. Can't even remember her name. Go look it up because it's driving me crazy now.
Yes, this is the problem. I'm really good with names, but like eventually you hit a point where you can only take in so many before you're going to forget something.
Yeah. Well, I really didn't care about the series because by the end I was just skipping through to parts that looked interesting.
There we go, Seiko.
Psycho, yeah.
Yeah,
Because Ray is a thought. Let's be honest, she's a thought.
I hate that word.
I don't know. Special how should we have besides calling her a stupid whore?
I just call her a bitch. It's an easy one.
No, that's an insult to tsunderes. Tsunderes are bitchy.
That's not even the word I'd use for them either.
But I just get to the point where I'm like,
they're lovingly being assholish.
they're they're being assholes because they care. That's the thing that people don't understand about tsunderes. They think tsunderes are just mean spirited people. Louise aside because she's a bitch. The purest definition of bitch. She's a cunt.
Look. It's not like she's trying to get your attention or anything.
God damn. But oh yeah, by the way, we never learned it's going to get an anime.
What is?
This is one harem anime I've been telling you about. It's called We
Oh,
Never
okay.
Learn or Boku Touch.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, because last week it got announced it's getting an anime, so woohoo! Now I'm waiting to find out they cast Hanakana as Fumino.
Yeah.
Because Fumino's the best girl. And we got off on another tangent.
Don't act so surprised. I did what I needed to with Cyberpunk. It's a giant, lively world, and oh yeah, and they have no problem showing titties. Like, there's no problem showing nudity in that game. That was the thing that I was kind of laughing about. They show the character creator and they blur out the genitals, except literally 5 minutes later you see like full on nudity. It's just like, okay,
Okay.
what was the point?
So you get to choose who the childhood hero was. Samurai Rocker Boy.
Oh God, dear God.
Key life event, death of a sibling, ran away from home, first big kill. Well, that's kind of more interesting than can your character be transgender? How about the fact that the big life event for your character is the first person they killed?
Miles, the thing is just like, just this thing that always bugs me. It's like, if you want a transgender character so bad,
Just add it to your own head canon that your character's transgender.
I was gonna say just pretend. Like, it's the same way that when people like, oh, we need gay characters in this. I'm like, well, until you ask every single character in a show what preferences they have, for all you know, there are some and you just don't know because it's not important.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
Unless the show is explicitly about sexual relationships, a person's gender, like a person's sexuality, like their preferences, don't mean jack shit.
Exactly.
Like it's pointless. It literally has no place. Like in an action RPG, does it really matter who you want to bang necessarily? I don't see why it does. I think a really interesting backstory and a personality is a lot more important than this guy actually fucks other guys or this guy's open to fucking transgender people. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't make the character any different than anybody else.
I know. See, when I played Skyrim, the thing that I always was like concerned with is can I romance Vex? Because she was the hottest one. Because in the whole Skyrim game, there was no characters that did for me.
See, you say Vex. I'm just thinking the fucking girl from The Witcher. Was it
Nah,
Vest? I think.
yeah, Vex is the girl from the Thieves Guild. She's like
Yeah.
the
Okay. Vest is the character in The Witcher. Vex. Yeah. Okay. I see where I'm getting the mix up here.
yeah. Because I liked her design. She had that tsundere attitude. So
I mean, to
naturally,
be completely honest, when I played Skyrim, I looked at every option I had. I'm like, I don't think there's really a reason for me. I'm just going to kill everybody.
I know. Well, that's what I
Although
think.
to be fair, too, Skyrim wasn't exactly the best looking game for characters at that point.
Yeah. Well, Dragon Age Inquisition. None of the female characters really did it for me. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be gay because Dorian.
The the only one I was interested in was Josephine, and there wasn't even an actual scene for her.
I wanted what's can't remember what that one assassin girl's name is in Inquisition. But
Where we talk? Oh, is it Lilani?
Leilani or something like that. Dang it! It's been a.
Oh, Leliana. There we go. I had the right idea.
She's the one I wanted. You can't get her.
Well, I think she's only
And it's because she's.
because there were some of them that were only going for certain options. It wasn't all just they all were but they all weren't bisexual.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like none of these girls do it for me, but Liliana is the one that does, and I can't have her. Why do you do this to me? I get that she's probably taken by someone in a previous game, but let's pretend that this is in a universe where that didn't happen. Because some of us probably didn't play the first two.
I think was she a romance option in Inquisition? Let's
No,
see.
she's not. She's like,
Because I know Cassandra was only for men.
yeah. And the SJWF was only for women.
Oh yeah, Liliana wasn't an option. That's right. Yeah, you're right.
And it's like, why? She's the only one that's attractive.
Josephine was all right. Cassandra in bursts is all right. In fact, she's like her actual like scene is really good. I'm not gonna lie. It's no comparison to Dorian's ass, but that's a different story.
Well, that's Dorian's
That's that is a legendary button gaming for all of history. Oh, there we go. Mike was a little bit flippy there.
Yeah, when I was playing, I was like, you know what? I kind of lean that way a little bit because I do find some men attractive. I'm gonna go with Dorian because he's the only one that's remotely handsome.
Although the Iron Bull scene is fucking hysterical.
I don't even want to know because it's probably like,
You haven't seen it?
no,
Dude, you need to YouTube that. Come, it is the funniest fucking thing, dude.
All right, let me see if I can find it.
It's so goddamn funny.
Iron Bull scene, looking it up.
It's so worth it.
All right.
I'm kind of irritated that you haven't. It's not the female. It's the male one.
Yeah.
Come on.
Just you and me. So, what you going to talk about? Sorry to disturb your rest. I'm
That's the one right there. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh Jesus! I can't even. And Josephine's like, I can't even move my legs.
See, and that's the kind of stuff now that I don't think we can ever get again.
I know. It's just like
Because apparently now we have to take every sexual situation so seriously, and it's like, dude, like, there's we do some dumb shit.
I didn't finish the whole scene. I just got to the overflux seg bit, like pause because of what so
That's
hard.
all. That's all you need. In all honesty, once you get to there, like you've got everything that you need.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
You know,
I was
just trying to just explain what it's like. Well, you know, this is just admit it. You just got boned. Just admit it.
just like it makes you wonder what Iron Bull's packing that has them all shocked.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you look at the size of the guy. I mean, Josephine's already commenting that she's not gonna be able to move her legs. I think she knows that she wouldn't be walking for a while.
It's just like, oh my god, it's like, woo, lad, that's something else.
That guy was packing anime level. That guy was packing like the guy from Resort Boin, or what was, I don't know how you pronounce it, Boyn, where like the uncensored version, it literally looks like he's like carrying like a fucking like, I don't even know how to explain it. It literally looks like he's carrying like a giant fucking like PVC pipe is what he's packing, because the way the uncensored like makes it look. Because I guess the blur effect just doesn't make it look like a giant. I don't know. I don't know how that works when they animate these things before they censor them. Yeah, no. I'm interested in what Cyberpunk does with theirs, because they are so flippantly just throwing nudity into the wind, like they're not caring about it. So it's going to be interesting to see how either seriously some relationships are taken, and then how completely not serious some of them must be.
Yeah, that's probably pretty grotesque with some of the stuff you find in this world, and that's kind of, well, it's one of those. Here's one of those stupid opinions of Razor Fist is like, it says that Ghost in the Shell isn't cyberpunk because it just has tall buildings, and like they live in a world where they probably live in a beautiful society, but bad things still happen, like selling children into slavery and shit like that. Because that's like the plot of Solid State Society.
And either way, it's the same thing of all gatekeeping. It's like, well, this isn't actually Cyberpunk. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, it looks good.
I know.
Like, that's the thing too. Like, anybody who wants to talk any sort of smack about it right now, it's like, dude, like, if you're gonna make certain comments on how the gameplay is or how the world, like, if you just say you don't like it, just don't fucking like start slandering it by saying, oh, it's a rip off of this, or it's a poor man's this. I'm like, shut up. Just say you don't like it, or say you don't care. Or, like, stop being a trendy fucking hipster piece of shit.
Here's to go up on another of my famous tangents. I used to like this YouTuber named Micah Curse, and then after a while, he started attacking like modern anime too much because it's not all Berserk. Like Berserk doesn't sell as well as stuff as more mainstream anime does.
Not to mention, anime is not specifically made for one demographic.
I know. Here's a problem with him. People like him. They think all anime back in like the 90s and 80s was all this violent shit. No, that's just the stuff they localized.
I was gonna say, that's just the stuff you found.
That's the stuff that they knew would sell in America, and they brought it over here.
There's a lot of stuff in the 80s and 90s that are just basically harems. So
yeah, see, that's the thing. And he acts like they don't make stuff like Berserk anymore. Like, oh, imagine if there was some kind of websites that told you what anime coming around for the next season that you could look up. It's not like those exist or anything, you piece of shit.
not to mention that there's, I don't know, a thing called My Anime List or other sites like that you can just search by a genre and can find it.
Yeah. See, I don't even think stuff like Berserk's really that great. I think it sounds like ramblings of edgy teen. Because let me look up the summary, or like the synopsis of the series.
I mean, look, like,
Or beneath the gallows for which his dead mother hung. Yeah, starting off the bat, it's really edgy.
it's just like,
When I soured on him, it was because he whined about how the characters in like modern anime are not hyper muscular and shit like that. It's like there's 16-year-old teenage boys in high schools.
It's like if you want to fucking get your jollies on big muscle guys, just watch JoJo's. Jesus Christ.
Like
Watch Cells at Work. Just look at the killer T cells. Jesus.
Well, it's sort of like I was saying about you know, you were privy to me saying that. Oh, I get it, you're into hard gay because if you don't like the attractive girls in anime, you've got problems.
Well, and it just goes down to the same thing that I've said so many times before. Like, I'm so sick and tired of people that think that only the stuff that they like should be the ones that get pushed. It's like, dude, like, don't like the whole thing that people are talking about how anime is it's going in a direction I don't like. It's like, dude, like there is always something for you in anime. There always will be. Because Japan just does not give a shit about the markets. If they want to make something, they'll fucking make it.
Well, it's so like him bitching about waifus and waifu culture. Like, is anyone hurting you by having waifus? Waifus make people happy. Leave them alone.
It is that simple question of, does somebody liking something that you don't affect the things that you like? Because if the answer is yes, I think you really need to go and see a fucking shrink, because there's clearly something wrong.
I know. I don't really care for stuff like Free, and I'm probably gonna dredge up that one video from AMV Hell where it shows the characters from Free dancing, and that's related with the song Homo Dance. Don't know if you ever saw that.
No, I haven't.
Let me link it in side chat.
But man, it's I don't care for Madden, but I don't get fucking mad that EA makes a bunch of money on that shit. It's like a game being popular doesn't make other games that I play not fun. An anime, like, because Yuri on Ice got shoved down everybody's throat doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not going to like shows like, what would have been out at that time? I can't even think, but you know what I mean. Like, Yuri on Ice being popular does not all of a sudden make me not enjoy the animes that I was watching at that time. Like, it's stupid.
I know, that's kind of the thing that gets under my skin. Is he was saying that Casca from Berserk is more muscular than like the modern male protagonist from stuff like, I don't know, Index. Like, yeah, Toma gets his arm cut off and a fucking dragon comes out. That's a lot cooler than some muscle-bound freak.
Also, not to mention that, you know, let's be honest, in a show that's kind of set in somewhat of a modern time, the average dude's not going to be fucking 300 pounds jacked to shit.
I know, especially they're like 16 years old.
That's like,
that's kind of weird.
Like, I don't know if you remember high school, but they're generally speaking more JoJo level characters in my high school.
Yeah. It's like, I try not to talk shit about JoJo because it's.
I'm not talking shit about JoJo. I'm just saying in general, like everybody's like.
That's one of those series that this person does approve of. And like, some of the stuff about JoJo comes across a little bit like tongue-in-cheek, hard gay.
To each their own.
I know. I don't say that because I'm not mean-spirited, but keep attacking this stuff I like. I'm going to start saying some stuff. Because, like, I kind of appreciate the characters that aren't jacked up like Brock Lesnar. I want to see characters that, I don't know, use their brain or have some talents that make them powerful, like they got some kind of training or shit like that. Because I think the Berserk and shit like that, they were made like in the late 80s when Schwarzenegger and them were the idea of an action hero.
I think that's a big thing, right?
Yeah, because that's not the trend anymore. We don't have the bodybuilder archetypes anymore. Now we got the more lean built. They got muscle. They're not overly muscular, but they got practical muscles.
Well, I mean, just take a look at the way that everything has evolved over time. Like sports, like steroids are becoming less of a thing. Oh, I'll get to wrestling, but like, say for example, in hockey, like I'm a big hockey guy because you know I'm Canadian. It's kind of law here, but it used to be in the 80s and 90s that it was all about, you know, fighting and enforcers. So you had guys that were always protecting the stars. So there was just a lot of hits, a lot of punching. Now it's all about speed and skill. It's all speed and skill now, and the same goes for baseball. A lot of it is more like guys that are just really good hitter. Like it's not just the guy that's well. Actually, you know what? Baseball's kind of in a weird way where the guys are more athletic than they've ever been, but they're also just swinging for home runs than anything else.
Yeah.
Well, like getting onto wrestling, because you mentioned Lesnar, like how many guys do we see like Lesnar these days? They're an anomaly. Like there's your Braun Strowmans, but I mean there's not a lot of them as they used to be. Like back in the 90s with Hogan and them, like that's all the guys were. They were big fucking 300-pound behemoths.
I know, that's kind of the thing. Like, you got like, well, my favorite, John Morrison. He's got more like practical muscles.
Well, that's the thing. He's athletic.
Yeah,
athletically built. He's not.
Yeah, he does like parkour.
He's not weightlifting built.
No, he's like parkour and gymnast build.
You still got some of those guys around. Like you have a Biggie Langston, you have the heavy machinery guys down in NXT. Like you still have those hulking behemoth guys. But I mean, most of what you see now, and this is a thing that drives me nuts. Like there's a lot of guys that I listen to either podcast wise or YouTube. And there are a few of them that still do the small argument. And it's like, dude, I don't give a shit what you think anymore when it comes to, well, you can't realistically have a guy who's 5'9" beat a guy who's 6'6". I'm like, no shit. But there's nothing wrong with a 5'10" guy winning the title, facing other guys that are 5'11", 6'1", 5'8". And then all of a sudden when the big 6'6" guy comes in, then he starts wrecking guys and you make that a story.
Yeah.
But everybody's like, no, it's not believable. I'm like, dude, we lived in a day where fucking like we had bra and panties matches and China was beating people out, beating Jeff Jarrett with a guitar and like guys, like come on. Like I know we joke that wrestling is fake, but I mean, come on guys, it's a fucking show. It's not real sports. Can we like suspend our disbelief for it a little bit?
I know, I was remembering like Goldberg didn't want to wrestle Chris Jericho back in WCW because they wanted Jericho to call him out and just beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said, no one believed that I could believe anything because he looks like I could throw him out of the ring, throw him in the sense or something like that. Like, yeah.
And these same idiots who use the small argument had no problems with Rey Mysterio winning the title.
Yeah.
It's like, so one of the smallest, most talented wrestlers, like you guys were okay with, but the second, like a guy who is really athletically built, has a good move set. Like there are people right now thinking that Adam Cole right now in NXT is going to be an absolute flop, which he might be because of the writers, but
yeah,
the guy is fucking over and he's a six-tool guy. Like he has everything. He has the charisma, he has the move set, he has the look.
Yeah. Here's one complaint I do have about John Morrison. I don't like the moon can't remember what they called a split-legged corkscrew.
Oh, the Starship Pain?
Yeah, that. Not too crazy about that. I wish you'd go back to using
it doesn't have a lot of impact. I think that's the biggest problem with that move. It doesn't have a lot of impact to it.
I wish you'd go back to the Moonlight Drive and Nitro Blast.
Like, it looks cool, but it's a good setup move. I think if he wanted to do something good, if he wants to do a top rope move, he should be doing like a 450 or a moonsault.
I know. I do remember he won like a match with a Shining Wizard.
Yeah.
That should have been his move.
Well, yeah, you kick a guy's fucking head off.
Yeah. You go through the Starship Pain, you get up, hit the ropes, come back and drive your knee into his face. Now that's a finisher. Because if it's good enough for Great Muta, it's good enough for him. Because I think Muta's the one that invented the Shining Wizard.
I think so too.
Looking it up because I used to know this stuff by heart because I was writing the wrestling like, I don't know, years back. Yeah, it's created by the Great Muta.
Yeah.
Dang. He's one of those guys that had a good look. He had the face paint.
Well, that's the thing. Like, to this day, like face paint still looks good on people. It still works.
Unless it's Jeff Hardy and it just starts smearing in the middle of the match, and like he should use like Sting's kind of face paint.
Well, I think that's kind of the point, though. It's kind of like meant to be his alter ego, and it slowly fades away as you kind of knock the shit out of him.
Yeah. Look up the face paint because
that's the only time when it really sucks is when it's on Finn Balor, because the whole point of him being the demon is that he's the demon. So when the face paint starts to go away, it kind of takes the look out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, this demon is really attractive. Who knew?
Yeah, Great Muta had the probably the coolest look for face paint. He had like white or black and a kanji on either side of its face. Like, now that's a good look.
Well, he had like the kabuki look to him, right?
Yeah, that's kind of that just looks so cool.
It's like a lot of Japanese guys got it when it came to the look.
Yeah,
Like you look at guys like him, like Sasuke, like Kabuki, like
Shinsuke.
Jushin Thunder Liger,
Yeah, like
Tiger Mask. Like they all had very traditional, but they all stood out.
yeah, like I remember when Shinsuke Nakamura debuted on the main roster. People were bitching about how long his entrance takes. Like, you people sat through the Undertaker. You can sit through a guy that's coming out with a violinist accompanying him.
I can kind of get it though, because if
Yeah.
they were really going to have it for his first entrance, the violin didn't make sense because that's an epic entrance that's supposed to be used for a big match, not an intro. And I think for people like, if you know Shinsuke Nakamura from NXT, then you were happy as shit. But if you've never watched NXT, you have no idea who Shinsuke is. That entrance made no sense to you because you're like, who the fuck is this guy? Why does he get an awesome entrance?
I don't know. See, a lot of these, I remember Samoa Joe. I think he had an altercation with Roman Reigns in one match, and people are saying he doesn't belong in the same ring as Roman Reigns. Like, motherfucker, what?
It's like, look at Samoa Joe. Like he looks like he would fucking tear your arm off.
I was all like, and it's it. Say he has no business being in the same ring as Roman Reigns. Like, motherfucker, what? Roman Reigns doesn't belong in the same ring as Joe. Because a lot of us we know that there's more promotions than WWE, but these people are so stupid. They think that there's only WWE. Like, do you even use the internet?
That's what they want them to think, right?
Yeah, that's sad when these people don't even realize that there's other places besides the WWE because they don't know how to use the internet. People like us, we like, oh, this guy's cool. I wonder if he's from somewhere else. So we look it up and we find out.
Well, it's harder to be an independent fan because you actually have to do your fucking research. You actually have to look for it. WWE is just always there. You don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of the problem with, you know, wrestling being what it is today, where there's basically no other shows on television. And I mean, readily available on television. Sure, Impact Wrestling is on television. Lucha Underground is on television. Ring of Honor is on television, but they're not on major stations that you can find them at any point.
Yeah. I just like how Shinsuke has a violinist come up before him and then the music just goes off. And it just fits. The Shinsuke is probably one of those guys that didn't change his gimmick much from Japan. He's still got that.
Yeah, he really hasn't changed much. It's just that because WWE doesn't know what to do with that they just kind of.
Shinsuke doesn't need to be a talker. He needs to be the guy that just comes out, kicks ass.
Well, the other thing that's always bugged me too, it's like he doesn't need to go out and do promos. If they really want to do something, have him talk in his native tongue and do a vignette, so subtitle it. This is the thing that always has bugged me with WWE, because Lucha Underground does this with all their scenes, because they'll always have subtitles available for any of the Spanish guys.
Yeah.
It bothers me that they have people like Asuka, like Shinsuke Nakamura, you know, and they're going to have more obviously with Kairi Sane and Io Shirai and other people that they're bringing in, and this is not even counting other guys from other countries that could speak in other languages.
Yeah.
It's kind of insulting that they don't let them use their native tongue to really get themselves over, because Shinsuke and Asuka specifically, Asuka definitely, that woman really gets over because she is a fucking intense bitch when she's speaking.
I know. Well, Asuka, she's like, when she debuted in NXT, she's like a younger, not yandere, but the other thing where she's just like a crazy bitch, and she's just smiling, like just like.
She's just like, I'm gonna fucking tear your head off and piss down your neck.
Yeah, that's the kind of, and that's what makes her work. Like, and people are always going on and saying she sucks on the mic. Like, you do realize she's from fucking Japan.
It's like English is not her strong language. She's one of the better wrestlers out of all of them. Like, you don't have to have her talk. Like, this is the thing that always bugs me with WWE, and everybody thinks that style they always have to speak. It's like, no. For the longest time, The Undertaker never spoke.
Yeah. That's what made it work for him.
Like, I got really annoyed when they had an NXT Aleister Black actually doing full promos only like a couple of months after he started. I'm like, no, he was working as this silent fucking deadly just killer.
who's the girl from Bado, that badminton anime that does a creepy look? Because I'm thinking Oscar's one of them.
What Ayano?
I
What, the
think,
main girl that has like
yeah,
the creepy eyes?
yeah, that's what I think of with Oscar. She's like, she's got
Oh
that
yeah.
creepy. She's like, because I remember those two blonde bimbos better get out of the ring, and she came back, destroy them. Like, and it's just like she's just smiling. She
She's
patted
like
one of them on the head, like,
that's when you get the chant of Oscar's gonna kill you.
Oscar's gonna kill you. And that's what works for her. She's supposed to be the psycho bitch that you don't want to get on the bad side of because she'll smile as she's killing you.
That was the thing when she finally had like her heel run at the end before she got injured. Like it was kind of dumb because it's like, oh, I'm gonna cheat a little bit now. I'm like, bitch, you can literally kick someone's face off, like in Face Off.
I know she doesn't need to be a heel. She just needs to be the
Well, that's the thing. Like you can be a heel, but you don't have to. Like the thing that a lot of wrestling companies get wrong is they think a heel has to be a cheater.
no.
No, a heel can just be a dick. Like Ricochet right now in NXT could be an amazing heel because he's that damn good and just wants to show it off.
Yeah.
Like that could still be a heel.
Like Ric Flair, he could be a heel because he cheated. That's kind of the thing that worked for him.
He was the dirtiest player in the game.
And it worked for him. That was his gimmick. But not everyone needs to be that.
Well, and even then, he still could talk the talk and walk the walk. Like that was the thing. He could still wrestle circles.
Yeah, he's a solid wrestler. You just prefer to cheat sometimes because you don't become a 16-time world champion by playing fair.
Well, when you also fight guys like Lex Luger and he's double your size, you're gonna have to cheat.
I almost got such a creepy smile that I just started thinking about Oscar because we're talking about her. It's like that's kind of what Oscar should be. She should be the baby face that's like got an ass kicker. She just smiles as she does it. If some heel gets on her back, she just starts smiling in that creepy way.
Do you remember Karma? Awesome Kong?
Oh yeah, I remember her.
She had her little run. She basically didn't speak. She was just a creepy motherfucker that just came out and just killed them all.
I know
that's all they needed.
I know they ruined her. They should kept her as the psychotic bruiser.
Well, the problem was she got pregnant, and that kind of put a stint to all that. So.
I know.
Well, it worked out for her. She's now doing amazing in Glow. So.
Yeah. As long as it's not Wrestlelicious, baby. That's the kind of things I learn about from the Kumite.
But yeah, no. It's silly. Like anything in general when it comes to I got buddies of mine that still like to do the whole size talk with stuff, and where I'm like, man, like when I'm in a rage, like for example, playing one of my rec league sports things, I'm like, man, this guy's pissed me off. I'm just getting so close to punching him, and he'll turn to me and be like, dude, you wouldn't even put a dent in a fly if you wanted to, and I'm like, I hate the conversation of size actually matters in a fight these days because so many people are capable of knowing so many different martial arts now that you can be a 5'6" dude and be able to kick a guy who's 6'7" because you know how to fight.
Yeah, if you know the right techniques, you can take down someone twice your size. Like submission holds, those are created for be equalizers.
Well, it's like the thing too. Like if you took Bruce Lee and put him against Arnold Schwarzenegger in both their primes, Bruce Lee is wiping Arnold off the fucking floor.
I know it's one of those things that Steven Crowder said about that Bruce Lee couldn't win against like some mixed martial artist. Like I don't know, just because he's small doesn't mean he couldn't win a fight.
Well, it depends on what we're talking. Like if we're talking like Bruce Lee against a 7-foot tall jacked guy who's a bruiser, Bruce Lee could just fight circles around him. If Bruce Lee is fighting, I don't know, fucking whoever the heavyweight champion in UFC is right now, no, Bruce Lee will probably lose because he also doesn't have the reach. That's different. But it's the whole thing of between power and skill. Skill will always win.
I know it's one of those things that really just gets under my skin because they try to undersell Bruce Lee as a fighter without knowing that all what because like people like Steven Crowder are like MMA nut jobs where they think the MMA styles are surpass like kung fu disciplines. And like,
It all depends on what it is, because I mean, whatever there's not necessarily an MMA style, because there's
yeah.
amateur wrestling in there.
But
There's
he's like one of those people that plays Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Could
well, yeah, like there's karate, there's boxing, there's jujitsu. There's so many different styles that they just one may mesh better with the other. Like I don't pretend to know because I'm not experienced in that stuff, but I would imagine that if you're like a two black belts in two different styles, you never know. One just might end up working better against the other.
and here's my analysis of stuff like kung fu and Wudang, not maybe not Wudang Quan, but a lot of those Chinese styles. A lot of them were created like hundreds of years ago, and there's like weapons components and shit like that. And you really can't compare it to like a sports martial art because they're not like Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's not practiced for self-defense and you be used in warfare. That's kind of a difference. Because like a lot of those Chinese martial arts, they were created like for military training. Like so, like Shaolin Kung Fu was created by monks that needed to learn how to defend themselves from bandits.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the whole arena conversation is always dumb. Like I remember the Deadliest Warrior TV show.
Don't even get me started on the time when they did Vlad the Impaler versus Sun Tzu.
Oh, the one that pissed me off the most was the Spartan against the Ninja, where it's like
I know that.
it's like Spartan would overwhelm the Ninja. I'm like, yeah, but the Ninja wouldn't fucking fight the Spartan head on.
Yeah, here's the thing I really hate about them. Like when they did Vlad the Impaler versus Sun Tzu, and they were, and one guy just running a computer program thought that the Halberg was an equalizer. Like, nigga, what?
Like
Because
they always did things that like I couldn't understand how they didn't know that was the result they were going to get. Like if you're literally putting in a simulation where two guys have to fight and there's no context, well, of course a Spartan would beat a ninja because the ninja has no fucking defense.
I know, and it did the one with a samurai versus a Viking, and I don't know if a samurai could win now because like I look into like weapons that the Vikings use, and like I understand about like the katana that it's really fragile. Because that's one thing people don't understand. Katanas are not these all-powerful swords. They're really fragile. They break easily. Because they've been carbonized so much that if it goes against something too hard, it'll just snap.
Yeah. Like even just going through some of them, like what was the one that really bugged the crap out of me? I know it was one of the more modern ones. Like the Pirate in the Night one was silly because it's like, yeah, he has guns and explosives. Of course he wins.
I know.
Like that's kind of silly. Oh yeah, the Yakuza and the Mafia. It's like, so the weapons they had was like they gave the Yakuza nunchucks and the Mafia a baseball bat. I'm like, the fucking Yakuza used switchblades.
I know.
And like the same, oh, like the mid-range was a pistol versus a shotgun. Gee, I wonder what will win. The long-range weapons was anything against a Tommy gun. Like the Tommy gun was literally made to kill.
Yeah, it was. Like,
it's like, come on, man.
I'm glad that show's not around anymore because I'm just thinking about what they did. Like, well, after they got rid of that one computer guy and got someone else because that one guy.
Honestly, the only reason I liked it is because I just got to see what the weapons did on the ballistic gels. Those were always cool. Well, the rest of it I didn't care for.
Well, I learned about like the Indian weapons, like the Khanda. That was a sword that really got my attention because it's got like a flat tip on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Like they never really thought these things through. Like I remember they did the monk and the Maori warrior, and the monk won easily because he had steel weapons. It's like, yeah, no shit, he wins. It's like steel against wood. No fucking shit.
Kind of thing. They do people from different eras. Like try to keep them within the same time period. That way.
Yeah, because it's the same one with William Alston Shaka Zulu because he had the claymore.
Yeah.
It's like he had fucking steel weapons. Like, of course. I still think that because I remember watching the IRA and the Taliban. I remember thinking I think the Taliban lost intentionally because like weapon wise, I think they should have won. But the problem is, are you really going to let the Taliban like win that? Because this is like, I don't know when this episode came out. We were still in like Iraq war territory, I think, at that point.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing. And of course, the IRA were pretty bad.
Yeah. Like one of the more interesting ones that I like was the SWAT and GSG-9 because that one actually seemed like an even playing field. That was Counter-Strike level stuff to me.
Yeah, that's or the Spetsnaz versus the Green Berets.
Yeah. The one that I couldn't believe was Jesse James beating Al Capone, but when I realized that the tests that they took were kind of skewed into the Jesse James thing as well because the guys they had using the guns were sharpshooters and the guys they had for the Capone guys were not.
Yeah, that's
so
kind of
they got some really good results that way.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing. Like the Capone gang, they were like they had money to waste on ammo, so they could just shoot without care. But like the James gang, they lived in a time where you had to make your shots count, so that was a good variable to keep in account.
Yeah, I mean that episode was interesting, so I didn't mind it that much.
Yeah, when they give you a reason, like take skills into account, which annoyed the hell out of me when they did like Attila versus Alexander the Great.
Oh, the third season where they started putting like skills into it. It's like, guys, just keep it to the weapons.
Well, yeah. That's when I did like when they got rid of that one jackass of just ran a computer simulation because he was just running his mouth like thinking of Halberd skewed things for Vlad the Impaler. Vlad the Impaler would win probably win because he used psychological tactics instead of military tactics. That's what made him a feared figure.
Oh, that was the dumbest one, and I don't even believe the results. The Somali pirates only barely beat the Medellin cartel.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, how did the AK only get 204 kills and the Mini Uzi got 188? Like the range differences on those guns alone. And like the RPG got only 170 kills, the car bomb got 140. I'm like, the results on that make zero sense.
Yeah,
like you wonder what numbers they crunched in for some of these weapons because there's no way that these two are even.
Yeah, let's see. Season 1, Apache versus Gladiator, and let the Apache win because I don't know. I think that Gladiator might have had more of an edge because all they do is fight. Spartan versus Ninja is stupid. And if they wanted to do something with pirates, they should have did Pirates versus Ninjas instead. Because that's the great question.
All right, the ultimate dumb one: the Ming Warriors against the French Musketeers.
Oh, jeez.
So I forgot about this. I don't know if I watched this episode because I don't remember this, but the long-range weapon, the French Musketeers obviously had their flintlock muskets. The Ming Warriors, they had the nest of bees.
Let's see what. Well,
good lord.
I'm trying to find where it was. Nazi Waffen SS versus the Viet Cong.
Yeah, that one was fun.
It's kind of sad that I was rooting for the SS because like I think I knew deep down inside that the elites of the Nazis would win.
Yeah. Now that once you get to season 3, that's when you can tell they really ran out of ideas because they just started putting people in there rather than.
Yeah. Well, they did some in like season 2 and season 1. No, not season. Yeah, season 1.
I was really skeptical of Joan of Arc beating William the Conqueror. I know that she had the weapons to do it, but
they explain that
I'm pretty sure
armor.
Yeah, but
armor gave her more mobility and the ability to.
I still look as like I don't know how well in battle Joan of Arc was, but I don't know because I'm not that much of a historian. But I kind of always looked at it. It's like I don't know if like in a fair fight that would have happened.
Yeah. Now I wonder if William the Conqueror's going to be a woman in Fake Grand Order.
Yeah. The other one that I couldn't believe the result was the Army Rangers against the North Korean Special Ops because I'm like, they made it so close. It's like they were trying to freak people out. Like they literally only won by I think it was 8 kills. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like that. It seems like they did something intentional just to kind of freak people out a bit.
The stupidest one is vampires versus zombies, and it made this whole thing where the vampire gets infected with the zombie virus. Like, that can't happen. The vampire's already dead. The
Yeah.
virus can't incubate.
Well,
Because that's
I look at some of these and I'm like, yeah, you definitely ran out of ideas. Like, fucking, you got Theodore Roosevelt against Lawrence of Arabia. I'm like, really, guys? Like, that's the best you got?
yeah. And now we got like For Honor, like, and that's from what I hear, it's not that good of a game.
I have friends that really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever play it because it's just not my cup of tea to begin with. So
Yeah. I'm already busy enough with the games I do have, like Monster Hunter and Destiny 2.
yeah, and I'll have a whole week off on the launch Forsaken to go nuts with that.
And then we get back to the game, and I don't know why they're killing Cade besides the fact that they want to kill someone and they can't show blood.
Well, I think it's also because Fillion's leaving the project because he's got so much stuff going on now.
Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, it's
Just a shame that he's the best character they have.
well, that's because everybody else is pretty emotionless.
Like, Kor's okay, but Zavala, he's like, okay, we get it, Papa Smurf. Just give us our money. In fact, I demand a pay raise.
Well, yeah, he doesn't really offer much, does he?
I do get a little bit annoyed with the fact that Tights get shoehorned into being the overly serious muscleheads. Like, what if there's a Titan that's just a...
Well, to be fair, if you're hulking as shit, so you're probably dumbasses.
I know, but I'd like to think that there's some kind of Titan that's like a sarcastic lunatic that's like, oh, baby.
So what you're saying? So what you're saying is you just need a juggernaut.
Or just Deadpool with law armor.
Yeah, but that's Cade.
Well, Cade's a hunter. I'm thinking like...
But no, you want Deadpool as a guardian? No, you've already got Cade. Like, that's literally Cade.
I know. But my idea is basically... Because that's how I see my Titan, is like, he's a loose cannon. It's like, he sees the sweet business, like, oh, baby, I'm going to kill so many people with you. Because that's basically my main gun. Is like, okay, I'm going to put the war rig on and I'm going to quit this.
Every time he walks into a room, he has to always look to the camera and be like, it's business time.
Yeah. That's kind of how I see it. Like, whatever you do, don't get in my way. I know what I'm doing. And he goes into the room and kills all Fallen or the Hive or Vex. And the rest of his fire team's like, could you have left some for us? That son bitch look gonna be wrong. I just have a weird mind like that. See if I can find on Twitter. Ooh, Eri Katami. I forgot I'm on stream. No perverted laughter. I will not do perverted laughter over Eri Katami.
All right. Do we have anything else? I'm trying to think of anything now.
Let's see. Going through my Twitter timeline. Weeb shit, weeb shit, weeb shit. Weeb shit. Trying to find something interesting to talk about. It's not Mesmer being banned again. Funny thing is, the first time he got banned is because he did a video about people about shadow bans when that was just a rumor. Ugh. And there's a lot of pictures of Eri Katami on my feed now. That's so funny that they have like one game about her on the Switch. She's like well, she's not like a porn star. She's more like one of those nude models. right now on FGL we got like the Kaleidostar Scar Ilya event going on. Like, and everyone's rolling for Ilya, and I just don't feel like it because I'm not that crazy about her. It's, I think I should watch Hane Bado. I can't. I'm trouble pronouncing it the right way.
Hanabata.
Yeah, because I just like the crazy look of Mayano. It's like,
I mean, I've already been through it before. It was a show that I gave way too much time to, and it's the kind of show that doesn't fit with me at all because it's there's too much hatred and too much depression, and it's like I don't have the capacity to take that.
apparently she's got like a shitty mother or something like that now.
Oh, that's being nice. She's got quite possibly one of the worst mothers.
In all the history of anime, because there's
Well,
some,
in recent memory, that's for sure.
because
Like her literal way of mothering Ayano is, "I won't be your mother until you get good, son."
all because she's not good enough at badminton.
Yep, that's literally her entire like arc with her mom as far as I watched.
Meanwhile, she's got like a sister or something like that that's better.
I don't know. It got to the point that I'm like, dude, like somebody's got to at least try to be happy. And if you're not going to try, I can't be psyched.
Yeah,
If I wanted to stress myself out, I'll just stay living in real life.
I know one series with like crazy girls in it that I just never really want to watch is Kake Garui or something like that. It just seemed like it was a little bit too edgy for my taste.
Heard of it, but yeah, I have no idea.
It's, that's I just don't get into the really edgy anime because I'm not a teenager anymore. It's just not that.
I don't even think it's necessarily that for me. It's just I don't have the capacity to take it anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to feel depressed after watching something. That's the reason why I didn't finish Iron Blood Orphans. I just started reading the spoilers for how it ended. Just like, that's a shitty ending.
Like generally speaking, the way that I calibrate shows when it comes to how I keep watching them or not, if you're making me laugh or if you're making me smile, you got a pretty good shot of staying.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you better have something good. Like Island is not that funny. Island's not that entertaining in different ways, but goddamn, is it keeping my brain guessing?
yeah,
It's a really good mystery because I can't make heads or tails of what the fuck's happening.
yeah,
That's a good anime. Erase
yeah,
is a great anime because you cannot help but be invested. But
yeah,
just any other like default like serious show, like I tried to get into Aka 13, couldn't do it. Active Raid couldn't do it. There's just certain shows where it's like you can't put on the serious face and then expect me to stay with you if you're not offering anything other than the serious face.
yeah. I guess one of my mutuals on Twitter, Skyst, he's a little bit worried about that time I got reincarnated as slime because of 8-Bit's doing it. Like, I guess they don't do a very good anime or something like that. And
I guess.
that's a little bit worrying because that's one of the really good isekai because it does something a little bit different instead of you become a hero, go save the world for me. Instead, he gets reincarnated as a slime and he starts just consuming everything and becomes more powerful than a lot of people in the world. That's unique. A while back, I was thinking about the isekai genre where the ones where they get summoned into the world. Why should these people help you? You just kidnap them. And you say you can't send them back.
That's
That
the
seems
other
like
thing.
that's a shitty exchange. You're like, we just kidnapped you, but could you say a word for us? Although there is manga I found, basically the class gets someone to the other world, except for one guy. He was like in the corner of the classroom, sleeping, and they still got powers. So he's
It's like
still,
at least shows like Gate kind of give you a reason to have to go there.
yeah, these motherfuckers come in, kill a bunch of our people, kidnap some. And then you find out later that one person got kidnapped and she was raped by a douchebag prince. And I still like when the paratroopers just descend over into the capital and Zorz was like, "What the fuck? They're raining into my city. How am I supposed to beat that?"
It's like you don't.
I know. That's one thing about Zorzo that got under my skin. Is like, and the people that were returned to the Empire that were taken prisoner, and he's like, they're talking shit like they're going to beat the JSDF. Like, what? You just saw these people murder your friends with machine guns. You better hope you got some kind of miracle. People like to say make excuses like, well, they have magic in this world, but in that world, magic's not. The magicians aren't really exactly on friendly terms with the military. They don't want to use their magic for such a primitive purpose. They like to use it to understand the world.
Well, not to mention too that like in a lot of these shows too that like if you're giving it a level count, they're so under level too that it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. Like, while they're getting ready to cast their spells, all of a sudden a bunch of missiles fly right at them and kill them all. Because there's a thing called splash damage. And I don't think people understand that.
And it's just like, look, even if you manage to kill a couple of them, it's just tank. You tank.
Yeah. Iron Rhinos is
So
pina colada.
you ain't getting past that.
No. And Armored Pegasus or wherever was it, Pina called those. And I just like the helicopter platoon. We have a PA system in Wagner. We should go. And they're just reenacting parts from Apocalypse Now. Like, that's just the funniest part. And they're flying towards the city and they start playing Friday the Valkyries. Like, and they go up against the wall, just.
It's like you about to get fucked.
I know. This anime sounds kind of interesting. Ulysses Jin the Arc Torenken no Kishi. Yeah, it looks like a harem. Because the cover has like 5 girls and 1 guy.
Well, there you go. Already a passing grade.
Yep. And it's for the fall season. Fall's going to be pretty busy.
For me, I have nothing on my list. Like none of it, I know what it is. So I'm
Not
literally
even
going in
Index?
blind with everything.
You're not going to watch Index?
Well, I haven't watched any of the other shows, so it's kind of dumb for me to start watching that now, isn't it?
Well, I'm going to be watching it because I've been waiting for it. I need to watch the series this week because I want to get ready.
Because there's no, because I don't, if I remember correctly, there's nothing that I either know of or would be continuing.
Did you watch Golem Kamui?
No, I know I tried and just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I read one chapter of the manga. It just didn't hook me. That's kind of thing. If it doesn't hook me right away, I'm not going to stick with it.
Yeah, there's nothing essentially here that's something I'm continuing. So everything I've been doing, so
Yeah.
and there's a few things just looking at like descriptions could be interesting, but I mean this is one of those seasons I'm going to be going in blind and just hoping that I find at least a couple things that surprise me.
I do wish we had another season of Gate because that show was great.
Well, I don't know if they were ever planning on doing another one.
Oh, the novels are still going on, so as far as I know. Except in the novels, Rabbit Girl and Prince end up killing each other instead, which is a better aim for the asshole instead of being let to live.
Yeah.
But I do like in anime how basically that sniper purposely missing just scared the shit out of him, and he's traumatized right now because he keeps hearing that gunshot.
I can tell you what I'm not gonna watch. I'm not gonna watch that sumo anime that I'm looking here.
A
Certainly,
sumo.
I certainly don't need to be staring at a bunch of fat
Oh,
guys' asses.
Hinomaru Zumo.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, thank you.
it's like, look, I'm bi. I'm not that bi. I still got standards.
Yeah, they got cheerleader anime for the Yuri idiots because you know there's going to be thinly veiled tints of lesbians.
Yeah, I don't know. Just from glancing at everything, like there's nothing that's immediately got my attention. Like nothing I
Well,
look at makes me
well,
think, okay, this might be the one that I really have to look out for. I'm looking at all of it, being like,
well,
eh.
see the anime that Crunchyroll's going to be promoting like hell. Blew
Well,
into you.
like I said, I will give it one. I will give it a shot.
I
I will
know.
probably shit on it afterwards, but I will give it a shot.
Well, they got here's Blue into You, which is a shoujo ai, which means Crunchyroll's going to put on a pedestal because apparently lesbians are a brand new thing to anime.
Yeah, it's like never happened before.
Actually, that's one thing. One of those things that gets under my skin. Like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me! You act like it's brand new to new trend to anime to have traps in.
Well, they wonder why there's so much pushback from people when it comes to either dealing with SGWs, the LGBT kind of people, or transgender, or whatever else. It's like,
Well, they did that
guys,
panel.
throughout video games, throughout film, throughout television, throughout cartoons, throughout anime, throughout all the fucking shit. It's not like women as main characters, lesbians, transgenders. None of this is new. The difference, which you're trying to say, is that you want it to be the norm, which, if you go by population numbers, is still not the norm.
Yeah,
There's a reason that not every show is Yuri because not every single woman is a lesbian.
I know. But I just get to know my skin when I had to stop on their Twitter account because they kept acting like some Yuri anime, some groundbreaking thing. Like, oh, just shut up! It's not some groundbreaking thing. The
Like, fuck off.
groundbreaking
High
thing
School
would
of the
be
Dead had Yuri.
a groundbreaking thing would be a harem protagonist that has a sexual connection with his harem instead of an emotional one.
Oh no, a big thing in a harem anime would be a guy that actually openly looks at everybody. He's like, wow, they all want to fuck me, don't they? Instead of being, I don't know why these girls always seem to want to hang around me so much.
Well, in the case of Toma from Index, he's so unlucky he doesn't believe these girls actually like him, which which is a good reason because his bad luck causes him to be suspicious. But that's
Uh,
it's so tiresome of the harem protagonists that don't realize these women want them.
yeah.
Read between the lines, you dense motherfucker. She wants to fuck you.
Nope, too complicated. Just impossible to read.
Except in hentai, and that's the whole goal.
Oh, that's different. That is different, sir.
Yep. And then you have Emoto Paradise, where it's like 3 generations of inbreeding. I was just making that up.
I try not to think about that one.
Like, it's just like, oh, oof.
It's like, and I'm out.
It's like, oof. That's a little too much. Because there's some things we accept that we have to endure for anime, like Oni Eye, where the sister is basically advertising to the whole world she wants to have sex with her brother, or
Still a good
the
show.
irregular. Because in the regular, he wanted her sister was like pretty much advertising how she feels about him. Because every time some other girl's giving him attention, she's freezing the entire room and saying, Oni-sama. Hayami Sari is a good yandere. Oni-sama.
Jesus Christ.
That feel when no girl will ever call you Oni-chan.
Oh, that makes me so happy that I'll never have to think about that one.
What about senpai?
Well, if I actually do what I want to do and go to Japan at some point, that might be a possibility, but
Japanese girls, they'll call you senpai and make you cookies. I do wonder if we'll get another, because they're going to be finishing up the Origairu novels finally. I do hope we'll get a third season of that.
still have to actually watch that one.
That series is so good. My favorite character from the series is Iroha, because first season I didn't really like Yui or Yukino. And then we meet Iroha, who is like the opposite of Hachiman. She's like, she seems like a great, she's really friendly and all that, but deep down she's like the most antisocial bitch ever. Yeah, look.
I don't really have anything else, and I think I'm probably going to take off because my cold's
Yeah.
starting to accentuate again.
I think it's time to sunset this stream so I can watch the kill stream.
It's been a terrible fucking like 10 days for me. I don't know whether it was food poisoning or stomach virus last weekend, but I felt like it was being fucking stabbed for a few days.
God damn.
Monday I got an ear infection that lasted for 3 or 4 days, and then starting Friday I ended up getting a cold. I'm like, man, I should write the rest of this fucking month off.
Sounds like it.
So yeah.
I guess with that, we'll sunset this stream. Good night to the people that were desperate enough to watch us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on as usual. I'll see you next time.
Next time, we'll talk about something else.
Or the same shit, because we always go on tangents anyway.
Yeah,
we'll go back to just harems again.
Yeah, might have to do a roundtable with some people at some point about how harems are basically a gateway to the hentai world.
Well, technically harems are the hentai world, aren't they?
Especially the hard etchy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But alas, to everyone that is totally not watching this live and to watching it later, have a good night and have a good afternoon, have a good morning, whatever the fuck it is where you are.
And if you're interested in being a part of this awkward experience, you can contact us and join this horrible experience.
It is not awkward, sir. I don't know what you're talking about.
We make Schmeckle look professional. Let's just leave it at that.
Well, to be fair, there isn't a professional bone in either of our bodies, so.
And I'll sunset now.